So as your brain develops, as we all know, language is in the left brain, and timing and precision are in the temporal lobes. So when you do a brain exercise and you can time something with super accuracy, you're developing that temporal lobe and making new neural connections. And if you're consistent enough, it can hardwire and wire it to the best functionality, which will improve your learning ability, your intelligence in every aspect, both athletic and intellectual. So the key to this is the more consistent you are, even just a daily dose of tap will make all the difference in your functionality. Why? Because you're driving the frontal, temporal, and cerebellum that are constantly coordinating on its own, and the more accurate you are in your timing, the more the brain wires to focus. So what's so incredible about this that started this whole process was actually not only the developing brain that's so impactful, and so many people are struggling at different levels, and kids are struggling in class that don't have to if they just figure out their speed, but also the elderly. As our brains degenerate and we're starting to see a decline, there's one area of your brain that is highly activated and still making new neurons, and that's the corpus callosum that connects both the left hemisphere with the right hemisphere. And if your timing is off at the wrong speed, you're not making new connections to those new neurons, so they just die off. And that's where we see a neurodegenerative brain that if you don't use it, you lose it. Well, why don't we keep it activated and wiring according to our programming, which is your programming, which is your speed. So the more you do the TAP app, the timing and the app, you can be improving, especially when you're alternating hands. You are using that corpus callosum and not only activating, but inhibiting yourself from doing the other side, which is a high executive brain functionality. And that comes from consistently tapping on the app. So some of you feel like you're smart, you're intelligent, you're not losing your mind, but you want that next level athletic ability. And where does it come from? Precision. Precision in execution, precision in reaction. You need to be precise. And what's the best way to become precise? Time everything consistently. Time it, time it, time it. So the more accurate you are with timing, the more precision you are, the more reactive, and the more the brain functions and actually calms itself down. What's incredible about the timing, notice with consistency and repetitiveness, that's one thing that those that get really anxious or nervous use. They use consistency and repetitiveness. So think if you're training yourself at a metronome and you're a high executive athlete that buckles under pressure, and you train your brain to hear that metronome and function to a metronome, you'll be in that metronome mindset when you're in that next executive training or game and you don't buckle under the pressure. So what's interesting that people always ask me, because having been a doctor that's rehabbed many brains, but also a doctor who has experienced a lot of head trauma, not only did I fix my neurological imbalances from the past, I also never want to get an aging brain. And the one exercise I never miss is timing cross-crawl taps to a metronome. You do that exercise and you will keep your brain active at all times, and you don't have to see a decline. But more importantly, you can also fix a lot of things that you didn't realize you had, or struggles you had in life that can be solved with the correct timing and the cross-crawl exercise. So as we get older, there's not one of us that's not concerned of our mind. Whether that we're worried about Alzheimer's, worried about dementia, worried about all the neurodegenerative diseases out there. We live in a world now that we're more proactive about prevention than ever before, right? We brush our teeth because we don't want, gum disease. What are you doing for your brain? the most important thing, and I tell everybody, you want to prevent an aging brain of any sort, cross crawl tap to a metronome, and you will not deal with those things, even if you're genetically predisposed to those imbalances. If you use it, you won't lose it, and you can keep your brain as young and as crisp as you're willing to tap it out. So now that you want this as bad as I wanted it, go to the website, download the app, and it'll walk you through everything, and then I'll tell you what to do next. So here we go. What's so incredible about this device is I didn't make everybody in the house download it and charge for every person on there. You can have as many users as you want, and you guys can challenge each other to see who is doing it the most and who is the most accurate. So a little challenge between sibling rivalry. And I will tell you, please know, if your training speed is 30 or 100, one is not better than the other. So do not believe that, well, I need to go faster because that's better. No, 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 no. The speed for your brain is the best for your brain. And once we do that, then we train at all the other speeds. So again, the assessment, you're gonna go through, you're gonna time it, precision with the left hand at 50, then the right hand at 50, and then both. If either one of those speeds are at the ultimate level, that's the prescribed exercise speed for you, and it'll send you right into the training. If neither of those are worked, there's a button that says, find my speed. And we're gonna go assess different speeds with the weaker hand, right? If the left hand's 75% accurate and the right hand is 43% accurate, we need to see what this hand processes at. Not that right and left are different, it's just this pathway is more compromised than this pathway. So you'll reassess at that with that weak side over and over and over until it finds the speed. And then you'll not only train that one weak side, but you'll also train the alternate in getting the brain to connect together so you have no weakness. I don't want a weakness. Does it matter if you're left or right-handed? No. It matters if the two are talking to each other. All right, so now that you have your speed, you're gonna ask, okay, can I get the speed? Can I train at other speeds? Sure, if you do your speed first. So if your protocol and your recommendation from the app says do the right hand at speed 75 and you nail that, then I want to try a 45 or a 53 and you just want to see how good your brain is at adapting at whatever you're giving, go right ahead. If it struggles, go back to your speed that you are supposed to train at, go do another 75 and try it again. And you'll see yourself constantly be improving your system. Now what's also great, when you start nailing everything, click on the distraction button. On the distraction button, I've created two different types of distraction, both visual and audio, so that I can challenge your brain to see if you can do the timing and the accuracy even when other things are there. There is nothing on the planet like this, right? You have games out there that are fun video games and they have distractions and things trying to get you from focusing, but is it accurate and is it timing? These aren't rehabbing your brains, otherwise every kid would be the smartest kid on the planet because they play enough video games. This is not about a video game. This is about rehabbing your brain to function at the highest level. So I will constantly update to create new distractions and new variations as the process keeps getting better and better and better. So what's incredible about this app is I didn't make it like a video game, but it has a video game feel because our designer is a game app person, incredibly at what he does. And what's so great about this app is, as I was saying earlier, my kids ask to do it. And when my kids start to do it, all the kids around them seeing it say, can I do it? Can I make a profile? Can I do the assessment? Can I find my speed? And they all want to do it. Why? Because every kid wants to be good. Every kid wants to be better at what he or she is doing. So how do you do that? unless you're assessing the brain, it's not about playing a video game whether you can pass a level. It's how good are you at this thing? And it's so basic, anybody really can do it. At the same time, it's enough fun that the kids want to do it. So I will tell you, as I said before, one of the biggest things that patients come into the clinic, what can I do for my loved one that's not here? That answer and solution is TAP. Improve their brain at the highest level. If everyone could be improving their timing and accuracy, and the high executive frontal lobe, your temporal lobe that stores memory, language, learning, mathematics, artistic language, everything, as well as the cerebellum that coordinates the whole thing together, they will be in such a better state mentally, emotionally, and their drive, everything is going on with these specific pathways. Help your loved one out and share the app now. So I always get the one patient or two patient that's sitting with their loved one struggling and goes, I don't have any problems. Are you sure? There is not anybody on this earth that doesn't have some type of neurological breakdown, and it's usually found within the timing mechanism of the brain. Fix that, and you really won't have the weakness that you think you don't have.